Let me ask you something. You're making $80,000 a year, maybe even six figures, but somehow you're still broke. Not can't afford food broke, but that weird kind of broke where you have money coming in and it just disappears. You've got the nice apartment, the car payment, the wardrobe, the brunch spots, the gym membership you actually use. You look successful. Everyone thinks you're doing great, but your savings account? $1,200. And that's after a good month. Welcome to the performance wealth trap. And it's quietly destroying your financial future. Here's what nobody tells you about making good money. The jump from $35,000 to $75,000 doesn't feel like doubling your income. It feels like finally being able to afford the life everyone around you already has. So you upgrade. You move to a better place. You buy a reliable car. You stop wearing the same 3 shirts from college. And that all makes sense, right? You worked hard. You deserve it. But here's where it gets dangerous. You start spending money to look like you make good money. And there's a massive difference between those two things. I call it the paycheck mirage. You see this big number on your offer letter or your direct deposit, and you think, finally, I've made it. But by the time you subtract rent, car payments, student loans, subscriptions going out, looking the part, you're living the exact same paycheck-to-paycheck existence you had before, just with better stuff. The trap isn't that you're being reckless. The trap is that you're being reasonable. You're making what society tells you are normal, sensible decisions. And every single one of them is keeping you broke. Let's get brutally honest for a second. How much of your spending is actually about you, and how much is about what other people see? That $2,000 a month apartment? You could probably live somewhere decent for $1,400. But what would people think? That car payment? You need reliable transportation. Sure. But did you need the trim level with the leather seats and the panoramic sunroof? The clothes, the gadgets, the Friday night dinners where you casually drop $80 and don't even think about it. None of it is wrong. But be honest, how much of it is because you genuinely want it? And how much is because you need people to see that you're doing well? We built an entire economy around looking wealthy. Social media made it worse. But this started way before Instagram. We've been conditioned to believe that success is something you wear, drive, and live in. Something visible. Something you can photograph. Meanwhile, actual wealth? It's invisible. It's boring. It's numbers and accounts nobody sees. It's saying no to things you can technically afford. It's driving a paid-off car while your friends are leasing. And here's the brutal part. While you're spending money to convince everyone you're successful, people who are actually building wealth, they don't look like it. They look normal. Sometimes they look cheap. They're wearing the same watch they bought 10 years ago. They're living in a house they could have upgraded out of by now. They're not trying to prove anything, because they already won. They just didn't announce it. Let's talk numbers, because this isn't just a feeling. It's a documented trap. The average American household making $75,000 to $100,000 a year has a median net worth of around $35,000. Read that again. 6 figures in income, but only $35,000 in actual accumulated wealth. For many people in that bracket, it's even less. Meanwhile, you've got people making $60,000 with net worths over $200,000. How? They're not playing the performance game. Here's what lifestyle creep actually costs you. Let's say you get a $20,000 raise. Congrats. After taxes, that's maybe $14,000 extra a year, about $1,200 a month. Now, most people see that as spending money. They upgrade their lifestyle by $1,000 or $1,200 a month, and it feels right because they earned it. But if you invested that $1,200 a month instead, in 20 years at a conservative 7% return, that's over $600,000. Not $1,200. Not $14,000 a year. Over $500,000. But you won't have that, because you'll have spent it on things you don't even remember buying. On a slightly nicer version of life that wasn't making you happier anyway. This is the difference between net worth and appearance. Your net worth is what you keep. Your appearance is what you spend. And we become obsessed with optimizing the wrong one. So how do you get out? First, You need to get comfortable with the gap. The gap between what you make and what you show. That gap is where wealth lives. If people can guess your income by looking at your life, you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying live like you're poor. I'm saying live like you have priorities. And looking rich isn't one of them. Second, audit the performance spending. Go through your bank statements from the last 3 months. Highlight every purchase that was even partially about what someone else would think. The outfit you bought because you didn't want to repeat something. The dinner spot you chose because it's trendy. The upgrade you made because the basic version felt. Beneath you, you don't have to cut all of it, but you need to see it. You need to recognize how much money is walking out the door just to maintain an image. Third, build invisible wealth on purpose. Automate $500 a month into investments before you ever see it. Max out your retirement contributions. Build a 6-month emergency fund. These things don't get likes. Nobody congratulates you. There's no unboxing video for index funds. But in 10 years, you'll have options. You'll have freedom. You'll have actual security instead of the performance of it. And fourth, this is the hardest one, you have to stop comparing. Because social comparison is the engine that runs this whole trap. Someone's always going to have more, look better, do cooler things. If you're using other people's lives as a measuring stick, you'll spend forever trying to keep up. And you'll never build anything that lasts. Real wealth whispers. It doesn't flex. It doesn't perform. It just exists. Quiet. Boring. Compounding.